The area of law that I practice is corporate finance and securities law. I'm senior legal counsel at Encana Corporation. I got into corporate finance and securities law as an undergrad student. I majored in finance and risk management insurance. I also worked in the finance industry prior to going to law school. When I got to law school, it was certainly an area that seemed to fit my previous work experience. And as a summer student and an associate at Skadden Arps, leaving law school, I practiced U.S. securities law, working for companies like Encana, working on cross-border deals. When I joined Encana, I joined their corporate group, working on corporate finance and securities matters. The quality that I bring to my practice, I am a U.S. and Canadian called lawyer. I actually have my bar in New York and in Alberta, as Encana is a dual listed company and they also have assets in both U.S. and Canada. I've had the opportunity to work on and lead certain deals within both jurisdictions. Teamwork is actually a huge part of my job. I've been fortunate this year to work on two transformational projects for Encana Corporation. Earlier this year, I worked on the initial public offering and secondary offering of Prairie Sky Royalty. And most recently, I worked on and led the legal team in the acquisition of Athlon Energy, a U.S. Public energy company. In both transactions, it required a large deal team and different aspects of the organization to be involved. All the way from senior management to every discipline within our organization in order to complete these transactions. These particular transactions were quite important to our organization as there was quite a lot of public scrutiny and public attention to the matters, as well as very strict timelines. In the IPO, it was something that had not been done previously in the industry, and it ended up actually being one of Canada's largest energy IPOs in history. In both Skadden and at Encana, I've worked with a number of individuals who've, on a formal and informal basis, have mentored me in the practice of law. One of the things that have always stuck with me in terms of advice has been that it's important to build a trust relationship with both the client and with the company. What that means is, to me, is providing practical advice, being responsive, being adaptive. It's very important that I, in giving legal advice, understand the business situation, making sure that it meets our business objectives while also reducing the risk to the organization or to the client itself. At both Encana and at Skadden, I've had the opportunity on a formal and informal basis to be mentored by various individuals within those organizations. The thing that's kind of stuck with me from the beginning has been the advice that I received about being a trusted advisor within the organization. What that means is being responsive, being adaptable, being practical in the legal advice that you're given to clients or the company. What that requires is having the business knowledge and being able to fit that within the legal framework in order to meet the business objectives to the satisfaction of both the client and the company. Yep. I've had the opportunity to, starting from law school, working in student legal aid services, as well as throughout my career and at Skadden and both at Encana, participating in community work. For example, I was an associate coach for a minor hockey team. This was an extremely rewarding experience. Although it's a non-legal volunteer experience, it's a scenario where you're able to meet with and interact with kids and people that you normally wouldn't in your business profession. To me, the volunteer and pro bono work as a lawyer is extremely important. I think not only for the profession, but at Encana, our organization prides ourselves with being involved in the community and giving back to the community.